Hey folks, you've stuck with me and we are on our final step this week. We're going to learn how to put the clasp on and put a little bead dangle on the end of our extender chain. So I've got 1.5 inches of extender chain here, and I also like to use this chain as jump rings as well because it's a really open link and it does have a slit in one side so that it can be opened like a jump ring. So the first thing I'm going to do is open one of the links on the end, and to do that you should grab either side of the ring and twist to the side with your chain nose pliers. So we're going to take one off on the end and use it to connect our clasp. Now the clasp will open itself and hook on there, but I was thinking that might be a little too close, just as far as it being comfortable to get the clasp open and closed. So I'm going to use one of the links as a jump ring, and we'll hook him on there. Then you'll grab the jump ring again and we're going to twist back together. Like that. Now the chain that is left, we're just going to connect on the other side, and you'll be able to clip anywhere you want in the chain so your bracelet will become adjustable. Making bracelets adjustable is a fabulous idea, especially if you're making them for anyone but yourself, because you won't necessarily have that person there to measure their wrist. And there's a fine line between too small and too big a lot of times for bracelets. So I've opened the end link on the rest of the chain, and we're just going to hook it through the other side and bring it together. So if you wanted, you could stop here, but I highly recommend putting a sweet little dangle on the end of your chain. To do our little dangle on the end, we're going to take a head pin, and I've got one each of all the beads we've got. I'm going to start with the largest and work my way up. This will be a nice little highlight of all our colors. And on this dangle, we're going to put it right here on the end. I'm going to teach you how to do a wire wrapped loop. It looks a lot like our simple loop that we did in our rosary chain, except we're going to wrap at the base of the loop. This will be a more secure loop, and since this is going to be hanging off of your wrist and is likely to get bumped and caught on things, that's a good thing. You don't want to look down and it be gone one day. So to do the wire wrapped loop, I'm going to start with my chain nose, and we're going to hold just above the beads. And we don't want to take up too much space, because however much space our pliers take up is how long our wrap is going to be. So I'm going to use the tip of the pliers and just hold above the beads and push it over to create a 90-degree bend, and that leaves just a little gap in there. And to do our loop, I'm going to switch to the round nose, and we want to hold them vertically in that bend we've made. And this time I'm not moving the pliers, I'm going to move the wire. So I'm going to bring it over the top. And when you get to about here, you're going to have to open your pliers and rotate so you can finish bringing it under to create a round loop like that. And you really don't want to take it much farther than I have here. You just want your loop to be whole. And since we're wrapping it, we need to go ahead and attach our dangle. Really, we could open the chain if we wanted to, but this is good practice for if you're using soldered chain. And sometimes you might have to take your chain nose, just kick your loop open a little bit so you can get your chain up in there, like that. And when I wrap Dangles, I typically take my chain nose pliers and I'm going to hold across the flat side of the loop and just wrap the wire down towards the beads. If you're having trouble gripping the wire, you can always use a second pair of chain nose pliers to do this. But you're just going to wrap until you get down to the beads and trim with your cutters. And you'll always have a little nubbin that you'll have to work down. But then you've got a little wrap dangle that will hang off your bracelet. Like that. I hope this has helped you guys. This is a great beginner project and a good refresher for folks on how to do all of your loops. Enjoy!